being 20 minutes away from the beach, going on hikes and stuff, and that's what was different. But honestly, I really love it, and if I had to do it over again, I would choose this place again.
Welcome to episode 399 of Alberta Dugout Stories podcast. I'm Joe McFarland. School is almost out for the kids, and that means summer is officially here. We also have a boatload of baseball coming in the weeks ahead and plenty of news to get to, having missed our usual news segments the last couple of weeks. So let's get you all caught up, and we'll start in the big leagues. Edmonton's Eric Sabrowski is back after nearly a month on the IL. He's made a couple of relief appearances over the last few days in Cleveland, allowing 3 runs on 3 hits and a walk while striking out 2. He's now 2-1 with a 2.86 ERA in 27 appearances, striking out 41. Calgary's Michael Soroka has landed on the 15-day IL with a glute strain. He's been outstanding this season in Arizona, going 8-3 with a 3.07 ERA in 15 games, striking out 79. That move came after a start last Friday where he only lasted an inning. Dawgs product Tristan Peters continues to have a very solid rookie season with the White Sox. He's hitting .286 with 3 homers, 24 RBI, and 4 stolen bases in 75 games. Of note, Peters is also sitting 19th in all of the big leagues in doubles with 17. And it's been a while since we last checked in on former Dog and Edmonton prospect Cody Funderburk. The Minnesota Twins hurler is 1-1 with a 3.44 ERA in 21 appearances, boasting a save and 10 whiffs. In the minors, might as well check in on the talk of the town all season, and that's been Eric Hartman. He keeps rolling up the prospects rankings as he inches closer and closer to a 2030 season. And remember, it's still June. The former Dog is hitting .302 with 18 homers, 47 RBI, and 29 stolen bases in 65 games with the High A Rome Emperors. St. Joe's grad and Sylvan Lake Gulls alum Nathan Flewelling has been hitting it hard again lately. He's boosted his average back up to .261 on the season with 12 homers, 37 RBI, and 4 stolen bases in 61 games with the High A Bowling Green Hot Rods. Also in High A, Saskatoon-born Avery Owusu-Asidu is lighting up the base paths with the Hillsborough Hops. He's hitting .171 with 6 homers, 16 RBI, and 16 stolen bases in 60 games. It's been a long while since we last checked in with Lloydminster native and Dawgs grad Justin King. The converted pitcher has split the season between Miami's AA and AAA squads, putting together an overall record of 3-0 with a 5.48 ERA. He also has 37 strikeouts in 20 relief appearances. And also in AAA, good to check in on Vauxhall grad Adam Mako. The Blue Jays prospect was outstanding in his 12 appearances with the big league squad before being sent back down to Buffalo in AAA because of the logjam of pitchers coming back from injury. Since his return to the Bisons, Mako has made 4 appearances, allowing 3 runs on 8 hits and 2 walks while striking out 6 in 3 2/3. To the WCBL we go, and as mentioned, we won't go through the game by game every week because things do change every single day. I will say the Okotoks Dawgs have retained top spot in the league's power rankings this week, with Moose Jaw and Lethbridge nipping at their heels. The SaskTel Saskatchewan Player of the Week was Regina hurler Kagan Baker, while the Village Brewery Alberta Player of the Week was Blake Dale of the Medicine Hat Mavericks. Don't forget, for all your WCBL news and notes every week, check out the WCBL report on YouTube, which features myself and Clark Monroe. Additionally, we have a couple of the big performers from the past few weeks coming up on this show with Swift Current slugger Jake Hiromoto and Okotoks reliever Wyatt Sadleir. In other news around these parts, a big shout out to Red Deer native and Lethbridge Bulls alum Carter Clairhout as he's going semi-pro. After an outstanding year at Bellevue University where he's won all kinds of awards and recognitions, he's signed on with the Ottawa Titans of the Frontier League. He'll be joining fellow Bulls alum Jack Kaliski and former Moose Jaw head coach Eric Marriott. Things are starting to come together for the road to Okotoks. The schedule has officially been released with 4 4-team pools. The Morneau Cup draft is set for tonight, being Thursday, where teams can take 3 players from teams that did not come out of the qualifiers. And the broadcast schedule is getting set through HN Live, and yes, I've heard I'll have a role to play there, so stay tuned for more on that. A shift of venue for the Blue Jays Academy Canadian Future Showcase. Because of a scheduling conflict at Rogers Centre, the annual showcase will happen September 17th to 20th at Rogers Field at Nat Bailey Stadium in Vancouver. We should start seeing invites and other details coming out in the weeks ahead. Speaking of Blue Jays Academy, the annual summer programming schedule has arrived, and Alberta will host a few days worth of events. July 14th to 17th on the calendars will see events held in Edmonton, St. Albert, Lacombe, Calgary, Strathmore, and Stettler. In the Saskatchewan Premier Baseball League's 18U AAA standings, the Saskatoon Diamondbacks, Saskatoon Giants, and White Butte Broncos all have 13 wins apiece, with the Diamondbacks having just 2 losses while the others have more. The Regina Athletics sit 4th at 12-6. In the Baseball Alberta Elite League, the Parkland Twins remain atop the standings with a 16-1 record. The Weber Wildcats sit 2nd at 14-8. Then it's a bit of a logjam with the Calgary Cubs, St. Albert Cardinals, Red Deer Rangers, and Black Gold 47s all having between 10 and 14 wins apiece, although some have more losses than others. In the Baseball Alberta Girls League, the Fort McMurray Oil Giants sit at the top of the 5-team circuit with a 9-1 record. And we'll wrap the news up with a plethora of commitments and college movements. Dawgs Academy products AJ Rogers and Josh Mills have decommitted from the University of Houston after coaching changes there. They're going to be moving to Coastal Carolina University. Going Yard and Athletics product Lucas Chappelle heads to Three Rivers College. Parkland Twins hurler Luke Mahar will go to Big Bend Community College. Athletics hurler Lucas Gensler has earned a spot at USC Lancaster. And Going Yard utility man Caden Colburn will study at Williston State College. From a CCBC perspective, Isaac Jones of Athletics will join Okanagan College. Going Yard's Jackson Wojcichin heads to Vancouver Island University. And Martin Academy's Chase Ruker heads to Victoria Collegiate. That's going to do it for the news, and when we come back, it's the guest portion of the show, starting with one of Team Alberta's athletes for the 19U Women's National Championships in Saskatoon, which is set for later on this summer. That's next on Alberta Dugout Stories, the podcast.
The road to Okotoks gets you back in that mindset of what's truly important, and that's the name on the front rather than the name on the back.
And you're going to see players get better and better, with this type of championship.
A tournament like this will help popularize baseball even more.
I think every scout's going to be able to come and see the best kids from across the country.
The aspiration of getting Okotoks and the journey of the road to Okotoks is going to toughen these kids competitively. They're going to understand what it means to play for teammates.
Like, if you want to win something, you got to learn how to work as a team and do it early. So it's going to be really, really huge.
Get your tickets at theroadtookotoks.ca. Welcome back to the show, and we head to the world of Baseball Alberta, where the teams have been announced for the upcoming 14U, 16U, and 19U championships. The 14U Westerns will be in Manitoba, the 16U Nationals head to New Brunswick, and the 19U tournament is set for Saskatoon. A player who has repped Alberta on a few occasions is Natalie Kerr. The Airdrie native and Foothills Fury fastball product is excited for another opportunity to also potentially capture the attention of national team coaches before she heads south to play softball for the University of Lethbridge Pronghorns. Natalie, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
You will once again be representing Alberta in a national championship. What goes through your mind when you get that call or that email saying, hey, you're going to be wearing the blue and gold again?
It's just kind of like a relief. I'm so excited to get to play with them, and it's just such an honor to be part of this group for so long. And just getting to play with the girls every single year is just such an amazing opportunity. I just don't want to miss it for the world.
Mm-hmm. You've done it a couple times now. Take me back to the very first time, though, when you roll into the clubhouse, there's your jersey, there's your hat, there's your swag. It's got to be a bit of a trip, no?
Yeah, it was so exciting. I remember crying when I got the email saying I was on the roster. It was so cool to be part of something so big like this.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned the roster, and you mentioned the fact that there's a few familiar names. You've played with a lot of these teammates in the past. When you look at that roster sheet, what do you see? Are you scrappy? Are you pitching loaded? Do you have big bats? What's the team philosophy?
I feel like all the girls that I've played with, coming up from 14U, just our big 08 group, everyone hits so well. Everyone has such a big arm. It's just such a great roster to have. and everyone just like pulls their weight every single year. I don't think there's like a weak spot in our lineup.
Mm-hmm. Last year's team, I've heard from a few people saying, hey, you were a bit on the younger side. This year, you're all together, you're coming together, and hey, you're all a year older. What do you take from those past experiences that you hope maybe will allow for a few more W's this time around?
Last year, every 2 years, we have kind of like our younger group. We struggle a little bit more, but when that group comes back together, it's so much stronger. And just like looking back at last year, we can kind of see like maybe our pitching needed to develop a little bit.
Mm-hmm. For yourself, do you have any personal goals or expectations going into Saskatoon?
Going into Saskatoon, I'm just looking to hit, like just get on base as much as I can, just be part of the team, do a job.
What would it mean to you to bring home a gold medal with Team Alberta?
That would mean everything to me.
Beyond that, obviously, your eyes are probably on that national team as well. And getting to that point, has that thought crossed your mind first off? And second off, what would it mean to you to rep your country at some point down the line here?
That would be crazy to represent my country. That would be amazing. Of course, I feel like every girl who's played with Team Alberta, even younger girls who haven't had the chance yet, everyone wants to have that chance to represent their country. That's such a big honor. Yeah, it's just something I want to work towards.
You have a few players on that team and you've been able to learn with some players on that team who've done it in the past. You've got some mentors. You know, you look at the Madison Willens who've done it before. You look at the Caitlin Rosses who've done it before. A few others to name a few, Cassie Matlocks. What do you learn from them? What are the things that you kind of look to glean from them maybe so that you can maybe achieve that goal down the road?
Just their confidence. Their confidence on the field is something to look at. Just playing with them, they're so calm and they just know what they're doing and they don't doubt themselves one bit.
Mm-hmm. Let's get in your baseball past here a little bit. Originally from Airdrie, how did you get into baseball in the first place?
Well, I have two brothers. One's a twin, one's older, and my parents just kind of put us all into baseball, so it was a little bit easier for them. And then I never wanted to switch to softball. I just loved baseball. So we played with Airdrie Little League for a little bit. And then I went off to Airdrie Stars, as they took on their first year, their pilot year. And then, of course, I found out about the girls program. So I went to try out for that.
Very cool. What was that like being a part of something new like the Stars? Because I know it's been in the works for a while, and getting a chance to actually see it come to fruition, it's got to be pretty special.
Yeah, it was a little bit confusing at first, but the Stars program has like grown quite a bit. I try and help coach when I can, but the managers and everything, they're all super kind and they just want what's best for the kids. Yeah, it's just amazing to see that program grow.
For sure. Were you a multi-sport kid growing up, or was it all baseball all the time?
I did a bit of skiing in the winter, soccer, volleyball, track, basketball, a little bit of everything.
Very cool. What was it about baseball that made you go, I want to chase that dream?
I'm not quite sure. I don't know. I just love the community. I just love the game. I don't know.
Very cool. Did you have a favorite team or player growing up?
Definitely the Blue Jays. I feel like my favorite players fluctuate based on how they're doing.
That sounds so like me. I definitely am like, oh, Ernie's my boy this year, and then it's like, oh, Ernie's not in a good spot. Vladdy, how you doing? Yeah, I've gone down that rabbit hole and do it for way too long. When did it turn for you when you went from, hey, this is a fun game, I enjoy it, to, hey, maybe this is something I can pursue and maybe I can have some bigger aspirations for it?
Probably when I made Team Alberta for the first time. I felt like maybe this is not just house league anymore. Like maybe this is what I want to keep doing.
Not only are you playing baseball, but you're also going to be heading down to Lethbridge in the fall for your first year with the Pronghorns. I mean, tell me a little bit about, first off, the opportunity to continue playing the game at a level like that. And beyond that is, I'd love to get into the mindset piece for a second, because the difference between baseball and fastball has got to be a little different, no?
Yeah, absolutely. Fastball is such a different game. It's so fast and so, like, just you got to be quick with everything. It's so entertaining, and I love the switch, but I also do love baseball and just can't give that up quite yet.
For sure. How excited are you to head down to the bridge in just a few weeks here?
So excited. The girls are amazing. The coaching is awesome. The program is just wonderful.
When you look back on the young career to this point, do you have a favorite memory or a moment that really stands out to you where you had to take that step back and go, all right, this is pretty cool?
I think when I was in Airdrie Little League and I was playing in juniors, I was probably 13 at the time, and I got to pitch in our gold medal game. I had a couple strikeouts, and we ended up winning that.
That is pretty stellar. On the flip side, we all know baseball is a game of failure. What's the biggest challenge or hurdle that you've overcome that you're super proud of yourself for being able to do it?
Probably just battling with my arm for quite some time. I have some medical issues with it I was born with, and just a lot of pain, and like I just had to do a bunch of physio and stuff, and there's a couple surgeries. Just getting over that and like kind of switching my mindset about like I just have to push through it and I have to keep going and I can't give up.
Give us a little bit of the background. What's the condition, if you don't mind, and walk me through some of the recuperation and some of the mindset stuff that has allowed you to continue to persevere and achieve what you have so far.
Yeah, so I was born without the ulnar groove, so my ulnar nerve sits on top of my arm. And I started having symptoms when I was about 13, and I had symptoms until I was about 16, 17, and then I had surgery for it. And I had to relearn how to move my arm and like throw and everything and grab things. And then I got hit by a car, which kind of set things back a little bit in my recovery process. Yeah. But there's still a couple things wrong with it, and I still have to get some tests done, but it's just the mental struggle with trying not to give up, even though it's hard and it hurts, but just pushing through and knowing that there will be light at the end of the tunnel eventually. You
segued really well into my next question, which was around that whole idea of like, it could have been really easy for you to just go, you know what, this wasn't for me. What was it that made you keep wanting to power through and persevere? And beyond that, what's that message for those young kids who might be going through the same thing? They might have some injury troubles, or they might have some challenges with the game, and they're questioning whether or not they want to keep playing or not.
Yeah, so there's always gonna be times where it's like, I just want to quit. I just want to give up. But like the relationships that I had built and like the friends that I wanted to keep playing for, and the communities that I kept wanting to be a part of, like that was just more important to me than the pain.
You mentioned coaching a little bit earlier on as well. What's that mean to you to be able to give back to the baseball community as well, and impart some of the wisdom that you've acquired over the years?
It means so much to me to be able to give that back to people. It's so amazing to see the kids like develop and grow and just make relationships with each and every one of them. It's just so amazing. Absolutely.
A few fun ones before we let you go, Natalie. First off, what's your favorite ballpark food when you're there as a fan?
Probably poutine.
Poutine, all right. It's off the radar for most of the time. It's usually like a hot dog or a pizza or popcorn. So when it comes to are you like a standard gravy, cheese, and fries, that's it? Or do you have some special toppings that you like along the side too?
No, I'm pretty plain, just standard.
That's fair. What's your walk-up tune?
I'm forgetting the name. By Gwen Stefani. My gosh.
Is it? It's not Bananas, is it?
No. I can't even remember it. I'm so sorry.
That's all good. That is all good. Gwen Stefani, hey, you know what? If you're a No Doubt fan or when she's doing her solo stuff, it is all good. And finally, if you weren't playing baseball, what would you be chasing?
Well, like, other than baseball, like, I'm interested in, like, physiotherapy. That's what I'm going to school for. Just, like, helping people recover in the same way that I had gotten. So if there's no baseball, then I think a career in that.
That is a great outlook, especially being able to help those go through the same process as you have, for sure. Two more before we let you go here. First off, for those young kids, they're just starting out on their baseball journeys and they want to get to where you're at now. They want to rep Alberta. They want to get scholarships. They want to do all the things. What's that one piece of advice you've learned along the way that you'd love to impart upon them?
Just play catch. Play catch every day.
Ooh, that is a solid one, and super underrated too, which I appreciate greatly. And finally, what does a game of baseball mean to you?
It means to compete. It means to have something bigger than yourself. You're part of a team. It's not just you. Even though it is you up to bat, even though it is you fielding that ground ball, you're part of so much more.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's been an honor getting a chance to hear a little bit about your story and your journey in the game. Congratulations on the Team Alberta nod. Congratulations on all the success you've had at this point. Continued success as you go about your baseball journey. And again, thank you so much for joining us here on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
We'll take one more break here on the show, and when we come back, we'll head to the WCBL for a pair of fantastic conversations. This is Alberta Dugout Stories, the podcast. Want to get your business or organization noticed on the top baseball podcast in Western Canada? Have a big sale going on or an event you'd like to promote? Drop me a line at joe@albertadugoutstories.com and let's talk about elevating your brand here on the show. Jump.ca is your SaskTel authorized dealer and a proud supporter of Saskatchewan Dugout Stories. Jump.ca has all your bases covered with SaskTel wireless, internet, TV, and home security services. Bring it all together at one of their 18 Jump.ca stores across Saskatchewan. Jump.ca, your SaskTel authorized dealer. Welcome back to the show, and our next guest this week is a player who, if he keeps this pace up, might be in the conversation for the WCBL's MVP by the end of the summer. Jake Hiromoto is among the league leaders in virtually every stat category, including average, on-base, OPS, hits, doubles, homers, RBI, and he's even swiped a couple of bases to boot for the Swift Current 57s. To say the Hawaii native and University of San Francisco product is also enjoying his time in the WCBL might be the biggest understatement ever, based on the enthusiasm you can hear in his voice during this great conversation. Jake, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's my honor.
The numbers speak for themselves to a certain extent, but I'm curious, how are you feeling about the season so far in the WCBL?
I love it here. I mean, it's a super competitive league, as we've seen. You know, you can get mercy ruled by one team one night and just come back the next day and just mercy rule someone else, and that's what's really cool. And Swift Current is an awesome place. Like, the fans are amazing here. I love the environment that we are in, and the 57s, you know, our record doesn't show what we are capable of, I think, and we've had a slow start, but I think as we get the ball rolling, you know, we're on a 2-game win streak right now, and we're going to keep building on that, and I think that we can be a top team in this league when it's all said and done.
You really went into my next question, which is around that team. It's starting to rack up a couple of wins here and there and playing some really good ball of late. What's the vibe in the clubhouse now that you're all kind of getting to know each other finally and bringing all the pieces together and knowing your roles, so to speak?
Exactly. I mean, the vibe in the clubhouse has never changed. When we were down, you know, we might have been like 5 or 6 games on a losing streak, but the vibes never changed. The guys stay the same. You know, everybody's there for each other. Everyone's fighting for each other. Everyone has a common goal, and we all want to win. And it's not selfish baseball over here. And, like, I think it all starts from the top. Like, Coach Jared Franklin has done a really good job bringing in good guys. Like, bringing a team that, like, win or lose, you know, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna have fun on that bus right back. And I think that is super important. Having a good clubhouse and just like you said, like, everyone's getting comfortable with each other. I think it's like about a third into the season, and we all know each other. We all know what we're capable of doing, and yeah, everyone knows their roles. You know, like, our pitchers are coming around, our bats have been hot all year, and that's, like, super important. And as long as we continue to rely on each other and continue to trust each other, I think we're going to get a lot of wins. Speaking of hot bats, you might have one of the hottest across the entire circuit right now. What's been key to your success so far? I think it's just trusting my game plan, trusting the guys around me. Whether it's just, you know, Keegan Noller, I mean, he's been a hot bat as well. And with him behind me, I know that I can take a walk and we're still going to produce runs, and I think that's huge. I think it's big to trust the guys around you, trusting your process, trusting what the coaches give you. And, you know, I came into this league with a big leg kick, and Coach Jared was like, maybe we should change something up. And I have full trust in him and everything that he has told me. And also, like, yeah, just like BP, like working on different things, getting outside of your comfort zone. I mean, it's summer ball, you want to try new things, and that's what's the biggest thing for me. It's just trusting the people around you, trusting your support system, and everything will work out.
For sure. It's funny how a minor little adjustment like a leg kick can make a world of difference. I'm curious, coming into the summer, did you have any expectations or goals for yourself?
I think for me it was just kind of getting more ABs, getting more experience, because in this past season, you know, I maybe had like about only a handful of ABs, so just getting my experience, getting as a freshman, I got my toes wet a little bit, but now I'm just kind of trying to take the next step in my game, trying to become a better ball player, trying to become a better teammate, and trying to step up in the role for sure.
What's it been like, I'm curious, coming from Hawaii originally, then you go to San Fran, and now Swift Current, Saskatchewan. What's that been like from, you know, getting a lay of the land, so to speak, but also I'm sure there's probably some things that you're taken by surprise coming up to Canada.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie, there was definitely some nerves coming from Hawaii to Swift Current, you know, just not knowing what it's going to be like, the unknown, and it was just like, staying with a new family, starting a new team, like not knowing anybody on my team. And everything has been so awesome, man. Like, I got no bad things to say. And I'm just so grateful for everything that everyone around here has done for me, because I wouldn't be here without my billets or without my teammates, you know. And it was a big jump for sure. When I got here, I was like, damn, what am I going to do on my off time? That type of stuff, because I'm so used to being 20 minutes away from the beach, going on hikes and stuff, and that's what was different. But honestly, I really love it, and if I had to do it over again, I would choose this place again.
That is awesome. What have you liked most about coming to Canada?
Ooh, that's a great question. I would definitely say it's not the weather, but I would say that the people are so cool, man. Everybody here is just. It's just really like they'll do anything for you. Like, even if it's outside of my billet families, they're super, super nice, and it's really, really cool to see that and see a whole community support one team. You know, like we're not even like winning right now, and everybody's just showing out to the games. You got little kids, little league teams coming out to the games, supporting us, and that's what's really cool, and that's what makes like playing baseball really, really fun. For sure. Have you perfected your autograph, the one that you got to sign on those kids' baseballs? I'm trying. It's kind of tough to find one that I really like, but yes, I am trying to do that. That is awesome. And also, have you perfected your Tim Hortons order yet? Oh my God, you nailed it on the dot. We go to Tim Hortons every morning. I love the bacon scrambled egg farmer's wrap with, I think they have a caramel churro ice cap, which is new for the World Cup, and I love it there. And you nailed it on the dot. That's exactly where we go every morning. That is, it's such a Canadian thing. On the weather front, I will say it has been wetter than we're normally seeing across the prairies right now. This isn't where we're kind of confused as to what's going on. Did we move to the West Coast? We have no idea. Anyways, that being said, what would it mean to you to be able to not just win a WCBL championship, but even just to get the 57s back into that conversation, because they were a juggernaut for a few years there, and since the pandemic, it's been a bit of a challenge. So what would it mean to you to maybe bring that team back into a spot where they're contending and potentially winning a championship? I think, honestly, it would mean the world to me, and that's my biggest goal above any individual award. It's just bringing in team championships and bringing in a winning culture, and it would mean the world, man. I mean, I just want to win for Swift Current, win for the boys, and everyone, like all our hard work, I hope it goes to good. And when I go to the gym, I see a bunch of boys there, and that's what fires me up. And I think we do have a winning culture here, and I think we will win a lot of ball games coming up. Fantastic stuff. Let's get into your baseball past here a little bit, Jake. As mentioned, originally from Hawaii. How did you get into baseball in the first place, though? It was my dad. My dad's like my biggest coach and my biggest hater, mentor, anything you want to say. He's been there for me, and I started at 5 years old, and I played baseball all growing up. I played in Hawaii, and I played for GBG and a bunch of other teams playing summer ball. I would travel to Arizona in the summer, Georgia, like pretty much any big tournament you would name. And I was originally committed to LMU my sophomore and junior year, which is Loyola Marymount in LA. And then I got my offer pulled, which was a big turning point in my life. I think it just made me more grateful, made me work harder. And then I committed to University of San Francisco, which I was very grateful for. They picked me up late before my senior year, and that's a perfect fit, man. Like, I love it over there. The coaches are really good. Shout out to Coach Tomo and all the rest of the coaches over there. But San Francisco, I mean, it's a big city. It has everything you need. It has the diversity of the cultures, and the facilities over there are awesome. And, you know, coming from my family, academics is a huge part in what we take pride in, and it is a really good academic school, and you can't ask for much more.
Absolutely. When you were growing up, were you a multi-sport guy, or was it all baseball all the time?
To be honest, when I was growing up, I started playing basketball in 6th grade, and I stopped in 10th grade, but I wouldn't consider myself much of a basketball player. I was just running cardio out there pretty much, but yeah, I mean, mostly just baseball. It's always been baseball, and my brother, he's 15 years old right now, or 16, sorry, and it's always just been me and him, and I give a huge shout out to him and everything, because he's pushed me and he's been my biggest supporter. So yeah,
very cool. Who was your team and idol growing up?
My team was always the Red Sox, the Boston Red Sox. My dad really liked them because my dad's favorite player was Dustin Pedroia, so it's always been them. I really loved David Ortiz, and right now I'm starting to love Roman Anthony a lot.
Well done, well done. When you look back on the young career to this point, do you have any favorite memories or moments that really stand out to you where you had to take that step back and go, all right, this is pretty cool?
Yeah, I mean, just like growing up in Hawaii playing ball, and I went to Cooperstown one year, and I was like, I was pretty much tearing the cover off the ball, and that moment was really cool, and I'll never forget going to Cooperstown. And I mean, just growing up, I feel like there was a lot of baseball memories and a lot of people I've met, and I was just like, wow, this is really cool now that I look back on it. And like, a lot of players that I've played with are now going on into their careers and playing Division I baseball, and that is what's really cool. It's just like seeing those guys, and when you play against them, you're like, hey man, you know, like we used to be 8 years old, and this is our dream, you know?
That is awesome. On the flip side, baseball is a game of failure. We all know it. What's been the biggest challenge or hurdle you've had to overcome where you're super proud of yourself for being able to get past that point?
I think it was, like I mentioned earlier, I think LMU was a really, really like, wow. It kind of opened my eyes, like, damn, I need to like work harder. I'm getting kind of complacent right now, and this is not where I want to be at. And that was like, that really opened my eyes, and I think it was like one of the best things that's ever happened to me. It really helped my career, and it really pushed me harder, and I'm really grateful that happened to me.
It's crazy how blessings in disguise happen, and you don't necessarily know it in the moment, but man, oh man, when they hit and you can look back on it with a positive spin, kudos, man. That is awesome. A few fun ones before we let you go. First off, what's your walk-up tune?
My walk-up tune, I had it as World of Reggae Music, but I just changed it to Hawaiian Hama, which just came out. It's an awesome song, and I don't know, it just has a good ring to it, and it gets me fired up when I'm walking to the plate.
I'm going to have to tune that one in. I haven't checked that one out yet. I think that might be the first time I've ever gone like, oh, I haven't heard that one yet, so well done. What's your go-to stadium food when you're there as a fan?
I love hot dogs. Either hot dogs, garlic fries, tenders, anything like that, just the classics.
Oh, so
that'll get me over, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. On a hot dog, is it ketchup, mustard, both? What's your condiment of choice?
it's always been only ketchup, no mustard. I'm not a mustard guy unless I have a cramp. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
It's amazing how controversial that topic can be, and some are
Exactly, yes.
vehemently one or the other. So good to know which team you're on. And finally, I just learned this question a while back, and I kind of like how it sounds. So what's your biggest baseball ick, the thing that you hate most about the game, or an element to the game that's like, oh, why'd you have to do that?
That's a tough one. I guess for me, it's like I don't really like when people step on the foul lines. That's like, dang, you really have to do that. You really have to mess it up. That's like my baseball ick, I guess.
That's a fair one. I like that one. I'm a jumper over, so you and I are going to get along great.
Exactly.
Two more for you. They're the ones we ask across the board here. For those young kids who are just starting out on their baseball journeys and they want to get to where you're at now, what's that one piece of advice, those words of wisdom you've learned along the way that you'd like to pass upon to them?
I guess my thing is like, you have to always put in the work, because there's always someone working harder than you, and there's always someone that wants your job, and you should never be complacent at where you're at, because, like baseball is a game of failure, and you're going to fail a lot, so you got to just learn how to get back up and keep working hard, because hard work pays off, and we all know that. Mm-hmm. And also, like, the thing I always tell little kids is just listen to your parents. Like, they know more than you think you know, because you think you know everything right at a little age, but always listen to your parents, get good grades, because grades keep you on the field, and grades are super important. And that's pretty much it. Don't give attitude. Don't talk back, and just work hard, keep your head down, stay humble. It's so easy as a young kid to get big head, like think you're the best, think you know everything, and don't have to listen to anybody, but it all catches up to you, and just stay true to yourself and work hard.
For sure. You've done that in spades by the sounds of things. Final question for you, Jake. It's one we ask everybody here on the show. What does the game of baseball mean to you?
Jeez, man. What a question. It means everything. I mean, you talk to anybody that knows me. I'm always around the game. I love to give back to people, give back to the younger generation. Just play baseball. I play on my PS5. It's baseball. It's like everything. Play on my phone. It's baseball. So baseball's everything. I think it's good to have other hobbies outside of the game, but when it all comes down to when all your chips are in, just it's baseball, man. And if you don't love it as much as everybody else does, you're going to fall behind, because there's going to be sacrifices that you have to make. And everybody says it, but it's so true. Like, people are going to be partying. You're going to have friends telling you other things, but you got to put in the work, because you can't cheat that guy in the mirror.
For sure. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure getting a chance to hear a little bit about your journey, Jake. Congrats on all the success you've had at this point. Continued success this summer in Swift and beyond. And again, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been my honor, and I'm so grateful to have this, and go 57.
And we'll wrap things up this week with a reliever who has really helped solidify the Okotoks Dawgs bullpen. Wyatt Sadleir is among the league leaders in both ERA and strikeouts, playing the role of long reliever with several appearances of more than 2 innings. Aside from that, he's a fiery character on the mound, yet by all accounts is quite chill off the field. He's also gelled really well with the veteran Dawgs squad. We talked about that and much more with the Calgary native, who's had an interesting journey in the game, including the University of Calgary Dinos, Dodge City Community College, and most recently, North Central Community College. Wyatt, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, perfect. Glad to be on.
The Okotoks Dawgs off to a great start this season. What's the vibe in the room right now?
Pretty good, pretty upbeat. Being first, obviously helps, and it's fun to win a lot of baseball games, so pretty positive right now.
What's been the key to success in the early going in your eyes?
I think just playing all around good baseball, like our lineup, just our offense, every game they're going out there and they're putting up 10 runs, like that's pretty, as a pitcher, it gives you a lot of confidence just to go out there and not worry about giving up hits or whatever, because your offense has your back.
You've been a big piece of the puzzle so far. As we record this, 9 appearances, your top 10 in ERA and strikeouts. What's been working for you on a personal level?
I think just trusting what our catcher calls, and honestly, just trying to throw strikes, like just trying to hit a bat and get something to put in play. It's a wood bat league, so I'm not too worried about, guys teeing off or anyone in home runs or anything like that. So probably just trying to, pound the strike zone.
Have you surprised yourself at all a little bit, given especially walking in as a bit of an unknown commodity in that dugout?
Maybe a little bit, yeah. I think, if you asked me at the start of the season if this was where I'd be, I don't know if I'd say yes, but it's good to be pitching well, and I'm not surprised now.
Mm. This is a pretty veteran-laden group too, and we talked about this a little bit off air. Lots of those guys have been around for a while here. How have you been able to maybe insert yourself into that group so seamlessly?
Yeah, a lot of veteran guys, a lot of D1 guys as well. So I kind of just watch how they go about their day. For the pitching staff, I watch how the D1 guys kind of warm up and take care of themselves, and I kind of just try and model that a little bit and incorporate that into what I do when I'm at the field.
Mm-hmm. How cool is it getting to be close to home as well? You're a Calgary kid, so you get to have your dad and family friends around the ballpark every night if you want to.
Yeah, really cool. It's pretty cool having friends, text me and be like, hey, can we get 2 tickets for, a game next week or something like that. And then my parents don't get to see me pitch much, obviously, when I'm down in the States. So it's cool that they can kind of just come to a game whenever and see me throw.
You and I were also talking off air a little bit, was watching a couple of your social clips, and I had to took notice of the fact you were fired up after a couple of strikeouts. Is that something that naturally comes to you, or are you kind of laid back for the most part?
Yeah, I mean, pitching in front of obviously 5,000 fans is a pretty wicked experience, and I like to think that when they see me get fired up, they enjoy it too. They enjoy seeing that more. So I kind of just go out there with like a little intensity and get fired up.
For sure. As you head into the next 6 weeks or so, what's been the message in the room? What are the things that you guys are talking about as a group to make sure you keep this roll going?
Just staying consistent as a pitching staff. Probably we don't want to, fall behind in counts. We want to just be aggressive and attack hitters, and just keep doing what we've been doing so far. Like we're 14 or 15-6 now, so pretty good start to the season.
Absolutely. What would it mean to you to win or help the Dogs win a WCBL championship?
That would be really cool. I remember coming to a lot of Dogs games when I was a little kid and seeing, on social media that they won, the WCBL. So being able to just add my name to that list and get a ring would be an unreal experience.
For sure. Speaking of growing up, let's get in your baseball past here a little bit. Wyatt, you're a Calgary product, as mentioned. How'd you get into baseball in the first place?
I grew up in Houston. I lived there for about 9 years. Then I moved back to Calgary when I was 13, and I got into Little League a little bit, and then moved to the Calgary Cubs and played there from when I was 14 until it was time to graduate.
Unreal. So what was it about the game that you loved that you wanted to pursue that?
Well, growing up in Houston, my parents, they didn't want me to play football because I was too small to play football. So it was that, volleyball or baseball, and I chose baseball. And I don't know, it's kind of just been something that's been a part of my life, and I can't imagine not playing it right now.
Mm-hmm. Was there a moment in time where it turned for you, where you're like, okay, I want to chase this dream?
I don't think there's a specific moment. I think, my whole life I've just really enjoyed playing baseball, and I've really wanted to play collegiate baseball.
When you look back on the journey to this point, do you have a favorite memory or moment that stands out to you where you had to take that step back and go, all right, this is pretty cool?
Probably my first start in the Jayhawks last year with Dodge City. First start, I went 5 innings, 2 earned, and that was really cool. It was kind of just an eye-opening moment for me.
For sure. On the flip side, we all know baseball is a game of failure. What's been the biggest challenge or hurdle you've had to overcome that you're super proud of yourself for being able to do it?
Staying out of my head, definitely. My mental game could use some work. I struggled this year a fair amount with that. So it's nice just to come into the Dogs and kind of just be out of my head and not worry about, my mechanics or, where worrying about hitting my spots, just kind of getting up on that mound and just throwing without really thinking.
I've noticed as well, looking through some of the socials, you've been able to rep Canada a time or two. What's that meant to you to put on the maple leaf and go and represent a country?
Pretty cool. Yeah, I obviously, I'm from here and I love Canada. Like it means a lot, and it's pretty cool hearing the Canadian national anthem play too instead of the American one.
For sure. A few fun ones before we let you go, Wyatt. First off, when you're at the ballpark as a fan, what's your go-to food?
As a fan, I'd go nachos with a Coke or a Sprite, and then get some popcorn as a little side.
Oh, I like that. Okay, so on the nachos, is there a specific topping? Is it just cheese? Do you got salsa? Do you got guac? What's your go-to toppings?
At the ball, I'd probably go. I definitely need some beef or something like that. Maybe some peppers or jalapenos, and then just a lot of cheese and probably some sour cream and nacho cheese on the side.
Now, do you have a staple, like especially being from Houston? I assume you went to a few Astros games. Was there something memory-wise from there that you can recall, whether it be food-wise or maybe just the experience as a whole down there?
Yeah, my dad's company gave him tickets, and he surprised me with them. And we went, and they were like on the basically next to the dugout. And Jose Altuve came out and threw me a ball, and that was a really cool experience.
That is awesome. So he instantly became your favorite player, I assume, as well.
For the time being, yeah. For the time being, until I realized I was a Jays fan, yeah.
Oh, fair enough. So who's your go-to dude?
Yeah, 100% Derek Jeter. I wore the number 2 for 8 or 9 years playing baseball. I was obsessed with him for the longest time.
That is awesome. What's your walk-in tune if you're the pitcher coming in, like the Mariano Rivera Enter Sandman? What's the one tune that you got to have as you're walking in?
This year I'm doing Could You Be Loved by Bob Marley. Something just kind of chill, and I kind of just sing along in my head, and it kind of just puts me in it helps me lock in a little bit.
That's certainly different, but I mean, whatever gets you going, man. Like, you got to get into a mindset when you're coming in as a reliever, so I respect it a ton.
Yeah.
And finally, I'm stealing this one admittedly from the Dogs because I want to see where you go with this one. What's your biggest baseball ick?
Baseball ick. I've said the Savannah Bananas before. I just think when I was 13 years old, I'm not walking up with 3 different walk-up songs and 2 different Evo Shields. But I'd say as a pitcher, my baseball ick is when I make a good pitch and the hitter steps out nodding or like shaking their head. Yeah, like they saw that well.
That is fair. I did see the Bananas one, which made me go, okay, I figured that was you. I got to ask, if they came calling and said, Wyatt, we want you to play on one of the teams, are you saying no or yes?
Oh man, I don't know. That would go against my own, my own words, but that's also a pretty cool experience. So
that would be, and I don't know if you know this, but there's a former Dog, Dane Tofflin, who's suiting up with the Loco Beach Coconuts. So yeah, there's a bit of a connection there. A couple more before we let you go here, Wyatt. First off, for those young kids starting out on their journeys in baseball and they want to get to where you're at now, what's that one piece of advice or those words of wisdom you've learned along the way that you'd like to impart upon them?
Hard work pays off. Definitely hard work pays off. I blew up my knee my grade 12 year and had to have knee surgery for that. So I had to rehab and work really hard to get to the spot I'm at now. So yeah, just grinding and working hard will get you to where you want to go.
What's been key in coming back from that? Because that's not an easy one, especially if it's your landing leg. Like, walk us through A, the injury, B, the coming back from it and gaining that confidence back that you certainly have now.
Yeah, I was playing basketball and tore my ACL, meniscus, and MCL in December of 2023, so the year I was graduating, which was obviously a huge, wrench in the plan. But I want to thank, Cam Williams, all the guys in the UFC Dinos program. They let me rehab with them for a year and be a part of that program for a year. So if they don't let me do that, who knows where I end up, because that helped me, obviously rehab my knee and then get my confidence back and go down south.
Fantastic stuff. All right, final question for you. It's one we ask everybody. What does the game of baseball mean to you, Wyatt?
It means a lot. Yeah, I mean, it's something I've played my whole life. Like, it's definitely part of my identity and who I am. I think playing in Siemens Stadium really puts into perspective how lucky I am. Like, it's an incredible field. incredible fans, great teammates. So the game of baseball means a lot to me. Yeah.
Well, it's meant a lot for us to get know a little bit about your journey as well. Wyatt, congrats on all the success you've had to this point. Continued success this summer with the Dogs and beyond. And again, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to join.
Thanks again to Natalie Kerr, Jake Hiromoto, and Wyatt Sadleir for joining us this week. And thanks to all of you for downloading and listening. If you like this or any other episode, make sure to leave us a rating and review on your app. We're up to 32 5-star reviews on Apple and 14 on Spotify. We truly appreciate you taking time out of your day to give us that high five. And of course, it helps boost up the algorithms as well. As always, a tip of the cap to our platinum supporters, the Okotoks Dawgs and Under the Lights Sports and Entertainment, for their generosity in helping us tell the game stories in our province. They're helping us cover costs like web hosting fees and travel, which is going to be super important as we head into this busy summer. For more on our tremendous teammates, or if you'd like to join our roster, head to albertadugoutstories.com/supporters. Until next time, thank you for all of your support online, on social, and on air of Alberta Dugout Stories.